There are shows with psychics,
And there are shows with doctors.
but there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
And street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight.
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
Require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic.
and the doc. And it starts now.
Wow.
All right. Nobody does it better than MJ.
Yeah.
We had to play that tonight for all of you. Why, Mark? Tell them what today is about.
Well, it's Halloween, and how can you have Halloween without Thriller by Michael Jackson? And I was watching that, and it's like there are a lot of and have been a lot of great performers. I mean, you've had like Sammy Davis Jr., you had
Elvis.
Mick Jagger, Elvis, Freddie Mercury, but Michael Jackson, man.
No.
And what's really interesting is I was in England right after Michael Jackson had died, and he was working on This Is It. And it was his comeback tour, and he was going to premiere it in London. And I got tickets it was the Michael Jackson show. And what had happened was it was the show that you were supposed to see. But what they did, since they had all the dancers, the musicians, and everything put together, they had 5 people sing the different parts. So this little kid sing the Jackson 5. They had 2 women and 3 guys. And when they did Thriller, that was one of the most spectacular stage performances, because from all over this it was like London theater, monsters came out with all the glow in the dark, and they did that whole dance routine. And of course, what was missing was the king, the king of pop himself. But today is Halloween, and Halloween started in ancient England. And it means All Hallows Eve, because November 1st is All Saints Day, and saints are hallows, and today is the day before.
Yep.
And it was believed that the veil between our world and the other side got thinner, and spirits would come to visit us on Earth. And November 2nd is All Souls Day. Without giving a protracted history lecture, when the Spaniards invaded and conquered the Aztecs, Mayans, and the Incas, the native population used to engage in ancestor worship. And the Catholic Church struck a compromise because they couldn't suppress it, because the natives, they were having no part of that.
Yeah.
So that's where Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, comes from.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's a really sacred day, right there.
It really is.
You just say that very carefully.
Well, this is a time to honor our loved ones in spirit. And, people in ancient Britain used to think that not just the spirits of our loved ones would come, but also demonic forces. So what they would do, and you can see in the background, I got a couple little stuffed pumpkins. People in England, they would carve scary faces and gourds and put them out in front of their homes to ward off the evil spirits. And then young men would dress up in animal skins with scary masks to try to scare away the spirits. And so what people would do, Dr. Pat, is when these young men would come and, scare the spirits away, they were rewarded with little sweet cakes. And that is the origin of trick or treat. So I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version, and people want to find out more about it. I'm going to be on Coast to Coast AM tomorrow night for a special episode. It's going to start at 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. It'll be 1 a.m. Saturday morning, but 10 p.m. Friday night Pacific. And the title of the show is When the Day of the Dead Comes Alive. So I'll be on Coast to Coast. And then to continue to honor the spirits of our loved ones, on November 7th and, 8th and 9th. November 9th, I'm doing an evening of spirit communication at the Unity Church of Tampa, the Unity spiritual community in Tampa. People want to find out about this, visit my website, afterlifefrequency.com. But Dr. Pat,
Yeah,
the theme of the show tonight is trick or treat. Is
it
your
is.
doorbell ringing?
I love that we picked this tonight. It's so interesting. I was talking to somebody who gets very excited about this time of year. I mean, this is my favorite holiday. Christmas, very close for a different reason. But as young teenagers, we love the village. I used to get on the buses, the trains, and I'd go to the village. And what would I see in the village? Hang out with Bob Dylan. And
Wow.
on Halloween, the parade in the West Village would stop your heart. It was,
Wow.
first of all, it's an LGBTQA plus community. It always has been. And what you got to be engaged in was unlike, and I was young, right? Back in the day, folks, you should just know this a little bit about about when I say Bob Dylan and I say back in the day, you could go to Cafe Wa, non-alcoholic. So there was this period in time where you didn't have to drink. Like these were places that didn't have alcohol. First of all, why? New York City alcohol license. Oh my God. But tonight's show, we're taking your callers. Amber, Stephanie, Denise, please, we're going to get to you. This is a cool time of year. And what I love about it, and I was asking my friend, I said, I know you love this time of the year, and I do too. November, I love November. November is bittersweet for me because on November 22nd, my mom passed away, but it's a little bittersweet. However, I said to my friend, why are you jacked up this November? She said, Pat, do you know what's happening in the first couple of weeks of November? I said, she said, she said to me, I want you to include Halloween in November. I said, why? I don't get home till November 1st. I said, what do you mean? Well, it starts on Halloween, but really, I count Halloween as November. I said, whatever. And she said, so I said, okay, so Halloween, and this is for my friend, and the election. She said, yes. But she said, you're missing something. I said, what else is it? Yellowstone. I said, oh my God. She said, do you know how many millions of people are waiting for Yellowstone to come on TV for the final season? And I said, yes, you're right. She said, we started a petition and sent it to Kevin Costner. Okay. I said, why? We don't want him to leave. I said, oh, he's leaving. Well, we sent a petition and we said who should take over the ranch.
And
Clearly, Kelly Riley, the daughter, across the board, there's a lot of male characters, but they're like, she needs to be the boss. And I can't say what my friend called her, but that's it.
Could there be a character on Halloween like a witch that it might?
You know who she reminds me of? Let's talk pop culture for a minute, because I have 1 foot in spirit and 1 foot in pop. You know who she reminds me of? You could make a mistake with a show like Yellowstone if you don't give her a prominent role. How do we know? Law and Order SVU and Dick Wolf did something ridiculous by not bringing Rollins back. Rollins is the character, blonde, chemistry, made a mistake, and all of us stopped watching Law and Order SVU. So he finally brings her back. And it's kind of like, couldn't you? Mariska Hargitay tried to beg them, just bring her back, pay her, whatever you got to do. And he wouldn't do it. And now she may be coming back. Why is that? Because we relate to certain character types. We all do.
Yeah.
You relate to certain music people, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Right? What song do I play when I warm up for table tennis? Want to take a break and I'll get everybody to guess when we come back?
Okay.
And it's kind of like a Halloweenish song. And then you could share your favorite song. But when we come back, we're taking the phones. Why? trick or treat time. Let's take a short break, Emily. We'll be right back.
But what is interesting about that song is that it shows that there's light and dark, and that everyone plays their part. Now, I certainly, and I want this very clear, neither Dr. Pat nor I are Satanists. We do not embrace the occult. I approach spirit communication with reverence. I pray before I do readings, and I ask God to send forth spirits for the highest of purposes to bring messages of love, healing, and resolution for the recipients. But when you look at art forms, and the Rolling Stones have always had, we're the bad boys of rock and roll. And I remember saw an interview with Paul McCartney. He said, yeah, they always cast the Beatles as the nice boys. He goes, well, we were bad too. And it's like, Paul, you guys weren't as bad as the Stones. Okay. The Stones and Aerosmith had that kind of edge. And Stevie Nicks, she's got a new album out, new song out, which is really awesome. She's always invoked that Wiccan persona. Her hit song Rhiannon is about a witch, but she has deep faith in God. And I heard her interviewed recently about her dear friend from Fleetwood Mac, Christine McVie, who passed.
Yeah. Also,
this last week, we lost Phil Lesh, one of the founding members of the Grateful Dead, another group that had that edgy, but you got to realize that performers have to have an image, and that edgy rock and roll image. Elvis had his sex appeal. The Beatles had their talent, their mysticism. The Stones, the bad boy. Everybody has that. Michael Jackson with Thriller, knocked the ball out of the park. We're going to be listening to Thriller, hearing Thriller for every Halloween to come. So, as it's Halloween,
well,
Dr.
let's
Pat,
just talk about this real quick. I want to just clarify something. Sympathy for the Devil was one of the most misunderstood songs, right? Because he did this, Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones did this at a time, and it was 68, and he did this at a time where he just had to say something about a socialite this was a socialite version of the devil. So many people talk about this as occult, and yet the song, when you hear a song, I heard a pastor do a lecture on this song once, a Christian pastor. And when he did a lecture on this, it was rock star quality, because he talked about the fact that why do we talk about the devil in the song he talked about in a way that we want to put the devil in occult, when in scripture, and he was so good, this pastor was a rock star himself, but he went on to talk about this, and he said what Mick Jagger was doing, he was trying to make a point about the time we live in. He was trying to make a point on the historical events. Now, many of you may be too young to remember this. Some people criticize this as satanic centered, but he wasn't talking about this. He was pointing out the darker side of humanity.
Exactly.
That is what he was doing. And some people, Keith Richards, what Keith Richards said a couple years ago when he was asked about it, Keith is like, this is an uplifting song. It's just a matter of looking the devil in the face. This is Keith now, right? It's like, and he went on to say he's there all the time. How do we know we're becoming more open to looking at this? Look at the hit series Lucifer. Oh my gosh, that is a hit series that came out. Literally, they should have had this song, because Lucifer in that TV series was a socialite. And what it presented was not just the dark side, but the inner conflict that we all go through. Now, Halloween, the only inner conflict we go through is, am I going to be Wednesday from the Addams Family?
I love it.
I did. I thought it was going to be Wednesday. Now, what's your favorite song? And then let's go to the phones. Come on, tell me.
My favorite Halloween song?
Yeah.
Would have to be Rhiannon. by Fleetwood Mac, because it's
Fleetwood Mac.
about a witch, and it's a love story,
Yeah.
and it's that. Although I do like the Monster Mash too, so I think we should go to the phones.
Let's go. Like we say in our introduction, we're not afraid to talk about anything. That's us. Who do we have, Emily?
Okay, up first we have Amber from Toronto.
Hi, Amber. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. And it was very entertaining listening to all of the history of Halloween. Thanks for sharing.
You bet. How can we help you tonight?
Well, my father just passed away. He was 83, and we knew that he was
Don't give me too much, Amber. Amber,
Okay.
Amber.
Hold on 1 minute, Amber. Yeah, because we want Mark to do his thing.
Yeah,
I'm
first
sorry.
off,
Okay.
no, don't apologize. First off, please accept our deepest sympathies for the passing of your dad. I lost my dad. The anniversary of his passing's coming up, and every year, it's painful, but I do know that he transitioned into the light. So let me see if I can get him to come through, but there may be other people as well. Okay, I do have a male spirit coming through, and immediately, Amber, now this may be your dad, but it could be somebody else, around my belly button and lower abdominal region. Okay, when I say me, I'm experiencing physical sensations of what the spirit was undergoing during transition and during the dying process. Getting a lot of pain in my lower GI tract, lower the colon area around the belly button. Feel very, very nauseated. Now, nausea can indicate that he probably was not eating or holding down food or able to hold down food prior to passing. Sometimes nausea is a cancer indicator, not always. The interesting thing, though, is in my armpits, I'm feeling lumps. And that would be consistent with a cancerous condition, meaning there may have been a cancer that had metastasized. I'm also getting lumps and pain down my entire spinal column. And so he knew he was passing. Ow, my knees are hurting. But he was being made comfortable. He was being made as comfortable as possible. Does it, just based on what I said, does any of this make sense to you?
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you how much it makes sense?
Yes, but don't give me too much. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. In what way? Just based on the symptoms.
Well, he had a colostomy. The whole thing started with colon cancer, and he did have a colostomy that, it always gave him trouble. It did metastasize. I don't know if I said that right. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well,
that's all I need.
Though, like the colostomy. Okay.
Yeah. That's all I need. Okay.
You're bang on.
Yeah, poor guy. Colostomies. That's really rough. Okay. Though, he's talking about the colostomy, and he said that your dad was funny. He says as much as it was a pain in the what. He said that he really did take it in stride, because he always wondered what it would have been like had he lived 50 years before, 50 or 60 years before, when that wasn't possible. And it's interesting the way your dad was thinking when he was here. But obviously he wants you to know that he is free of all that now. And he said, Amber, it's time for you to roll the dice and take a chance. Time for you to roll the dice and take a chance. Now, we got to be careful with a message like that. That doesn't mean, mortgage your home and go to a casino. But I think what he's what he's getting at here is it's okay for you to get out. It's okay for you to breathe the fresh air of a new dawn, is what he's telling me to convey to you. Does any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this all makes sense, and I appreciate it. Yeah, it's nice to know. I just want to know he's not suffering anymore.
Oh, no,
really.
He's not suffering at all.
He need it.
Yeah, he keeps talking about wave rider. Now, when I think of wave riders, I think people in a kayak or something, or sailboarding or surfing, but he keeps talking about wave riding, WAVE, and then riding. Hold on. It may not apply to him. If I say wave riding, how does that resonate with you, Amber, in any way?
Oh, I think he always got his words wrong, so I think he might be talking about a jet ski, because we did do some jet skiing in Barbados.
That'll work.
Jet skis are wave riders. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
exactly.
So in the spiritual sense, he is totally wave riding, and
Oh.
he said you can throw out the Christmas tree. What? What?
Actually, we can. Yeah. Good call.
All right. You got to explain that one before you go to Dr. Pat. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, we do have a very, very old Christmas tree here, and I don't think my mom even got it out last year. And he's got a huge garage that I've got to sort through. That's my job.
Okay,
and the Christmas tree, we've hung on to it for too long.
Right, so don't get all like, oh my God, that's our crazy. Yeah, you can throw out the Christmas tree. All right, Dr. Pat, this is like perfect opening for you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for calling in. How are you doing with cleaning out that garage? How's that
my
going?
goodness. Yeah.
I know, right? Right? Yeah, you're like, oh my God, is she asking me that question? I'm going to hang up now. But how are you doing with that? It's not easy, is it?
Oh, I'm good. It's not. It's probably going to wait till the spring because we're in Canada and it's starting to get chilly. I did it. It's going to be easier now that he's gone, to be honest, because he wanted to keep 3 of everything. And now he doesn't get a say.
Oh, that's good. You know, what Mark was saying about, let me just call it turning the page, starting new. What's the right word I'm looking for? The symbolism in doing that with the Christmas tree is extremely important. Why? Right? Obviously you celebrate Christmas, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we do.
Okay. Because Christmas represents what?
Well, family.
Birth.
Right? Oh,
yeah,
of course.
Right. Okay. So more than throw out the tree, I'm going to recommend something for you, right? When you get a new tree, and I'm not saying this is easy. I understand why your mom didn't put the tree up. I really do. It took me a really long time. But when you do, create a new ritual. Create a new ritual. Right? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, for example,
don't just get rid of the old one and replace it with nothing.
Right. But maybe you get a fresh tree just for this year.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
That's a nice idea.
So just try to think about it new, because that's what Mark was saying. You know, and I think the meaning of what Mark is saying goes beyond just you. I really think if there's something you could do different, I think it's going to be important for you and your family.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. I think that'll help my mom too with her rebuilding.
I think so. Yeah. You know, when that happened to me, I couldn't get one big tree. I had a big room for it. So I'm just gonna say I'm a quadruple Sagittarius, so you have to understand what I'm about to say. I got 5 trees. I didn't get one big tree. I decided I'm gonna get 5 littler trees. But you have to know that when you go to look at, and I did the same thing, no false tree, and I got a real tree. When you go to look, you can never really pick a small tree. It's not in my nature. But do something fresh and fun, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Right. That's a really, really nice idea.
Yeah. Even decorate it like we used to decorate it with blue. No, decorate it with something else.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Something
all right.
new.
Thank you. All right. Thanks for calling in. Mark, I got 5 trees.
I love it. You know, my mom always used to have a bunch. When we were kids, we always had a big tree. Then later on, she started doing little trees, like these little designer type trees, and each one had a theme and all that.
My God.
And, that's one of those things that, you think about and you miss,
I do miss it. I do.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, ask me how many trees I have here now.
How many trees do you have now, Dr. Pat?
I have 4 trees here now. But I don't always put them out. It's going to depend on where I am. Emily, who do we have next?
Up next, we have Stephanie from Ohio.
Hi, Stephanie. Welcome to the show. How can we support you today?
Hi, thank you. Just trying to reach out to my loved one and feel like I'm struggling.
Okay. Stephanie, you've got 4 spirits around you, but I'm picking up on there's an older female that feels like she could be on the parental level, so it could be like a mom or an aunt, it could be a grandmother. But I'm also getting a male energy. And the male energy feels like he may be either on your generational level, but most likely on the one below yours. And by below, I don't mean in a negative sense. I mean generationally,
Right.
like a son or I'm just getting this younger male energy, and he's coming through, and I'm feeling my throat. At first, I felt like my lymph glands are swollen, but I'm feeling a compression around my throat. So prior to passing, this younger male was having difficulty breathing, and I'm also feeling like I am gasping for breath. So there was something going on with him, which is affecting his ability to breathe, and I'm feeling an impact sensation to my body. Now, the impact sensation, particularly to my head, indicates that this happened very quickly. So sometimes impact to my head can mean head trauma, stroke, aneurysm, or an abrupt or quick passing. But all of a sudden, I'm like, I mean, when I say I mean he just could not get any air into his lungs. Does any of this make sense to you?
I'm not sure about the being
That's
younger,
okay. That's okay. Go ahead.
but yeah, I'm not sure about that.
All right. Don't worry about the younger. Is there a male connected
Okay.
to you that was having extreme difficulty breathing, oxygen supply, or ability to get air into his lungs, constriction with his throat prior to passing?
Yeah,
Yeah. In what way? Yeah.
yeah. My husband,
Okay.
and
Okay. Oh, hold on. I didn't mean
and
to cut
he,
you off.
it's okay. He had a lot of struggles, so
All right. All right.
and
Hold
he,
on. Hold on. He's giving me more. I feel like I'm putting on plastic gloves, but he's talking about you. Did you just do something where you need to like clean something where you needed to put on plastic gloves or I mean rubber gloves? He's talking about you and rubber gloves and like cleaning or handling chemicals. They usually be something like bleach or something like that. Because I'm smelling a lot of bleach. Anything there makes sense.
probably because I clean all the time.
Well, that would be a yes. Okay. And I don't know if they still make this, they meaning pharmaceutical companies, but he's holding up a bottle of vitamins and it's 1 a day plus iron. And I don't even know if that's still on the market. But there's obviously an issue with you involving vitamins and or iron. Iron could also mean protein, unless that was something going on with him. But he's handing this 1 a day plus iron to you. Anything going on with you and protein or iron issues?
I mean, I've always kind of had low iron,
That's a yes.
just
Yeah.
being me,
that-
and
yeah.
I try to take my vitamins, but I've just been on a struggle with it.
Okay, so see, this indicates that he's around you. He's aware of what's happening, and he wants you to keep up with your vitamin, your health, health habits. Make sure that you get that going on. He knows that you're struggling. Obviously, you've told me, but he knows that you're struggling. And he said that you feel like you're swinging on a vine and trying to grab a rope. It's almost like remember those old Tarzan movies where you're swinging from vine to vine. He says you feel like you keep
Yeah.
missing the next vine, but somehow or other you always manage to grab it. So what he's telling you is what you're going through now, this feeling of struggling like you're not going to make it. It's just, he says, write it out, persist, you'll get it. You'll get it. He goes, you're going to be fine. And watch out where you park the car. He goes, you're always trying to park in a loading zone. It's going to get hit. I know that's coming out of what's going on with where you park, or do you park your car like near a loading zone or something?
Well, that's kind of weird because I just started doing delivery jobs, so
See, he's around and aware. So be careful where you're parking when you're doing the delivery so your vehicle doesn't get hit.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada
Yeah.
boom, Dr. Pat.
Yeah, I have one message for you. You got to hit me up and tell me why it's a struggle to take a vitamin pill.
I just think about it and then I just forget about it.
Tell me the
And
first
I
thing you
even
do
said
at
one of
night,
the-
morning. Tell me the first thing you do in the morning and the last thing you do at night. Don't full disclosure, but I mean, what do you do?
I need to put the vitamin bottle beside the coffee pot.
That's what I'm trying to say, sister. And more, even
Right.
more important than that, do you make your coffee in the morning or you make it at night? You know, like I like to make mine at night, especially because I get up at 4 in the morning. So I like to make it at night that I
Yeah.
just got to push a button. So what do you do?
Right.
Morning or night?
I'm half and half on that one.
Okay. I'm going to give you a
Yeah.
trick. Are you ready?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite cup? Do you get your cup? See, I have to get my cup out and I got to get everything out, okay? Cuz I'm like a
Right.
zombie. Okay. So do you get your cup out?
Sometimes.
Okay. Do you use
So
sugar?
sometimes no. I just kind of no.
Okay. What do you put in your coffee? There's a reason I'm asking. I'm not probing. There's a reason.
Yeah, I put chocolate in it. I put hot chocolate mix in it.
Is the hot chocolate in a jar? Just stay with me. There's a
Yeah.
reason. I'm going to get to it. Is
Yeah,
it in a
yeah,
jar?
yeah.
Does the jar have a lid?
Yes.
I want you to put your
Yes.
vitamin on top of that jar.
Oh, that would be good.
Do you understand? So like when you're doing your coffee, whatever you're doing, that chocolate, I want you to have the vitamins. I mean, if the vitamins are in a jar, I want you to put the jar on top of the jar.
Right.
And if you can't take
Yes.
it then you better call in the next show.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I need to put it by the coffee pot. That
No. Nope,
definitely.
it's not going to work by the coffee pot because I put mine by the coffee pot and I don't take them.
Right, because I have to open the jar.
I want you to put the jar on top of the chocolate jar.
Correct.
Yes. So you got the chocolate and you put the vitamins on top.
Because then
Why am I
have to put the
telling you to
vitamins
do
in
that?
my
telling you,
hand to get to the chocolate.
you have to take the vitamin or move the vitamin before you get to the chocolate.
Right.
Got it? All right. Let's rock and
Yes.
roll on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
All
I
right.
just struggle with them vitamins myself. Thank you so much. Emily, who do we have next? Oh, those vitamins. I don't know why that. And I have to take some at night. Mary Jane Mack gives me some at night and some in the morning. Who do we have next, Emily?
Up next, we have Denise from Utah.
Hi, Denise. How are you? Is it snowing there yet?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Is it snowing there in Utah yet?
It hasn't started yet. It's been raining a lot, though.
Yeah. I'm just asking because we may get snow at Stevens, and anytime we get snow at Stevens, it hops over like to Idaho and other places. How can we help you tonight?
Hi, I was just calling in to get a reading from Mark.
Okay,
All
Mark.
right. Okay, Denise, let's see who's coming through. I'm getting a female energy coming in now. She does feel like she could be connected to you through your father's side of the family. The reason is when my left hand tingles at your dad's side of the family, if my right hand tingles at your mom's. So this woman feels like she's somehow connected to you through your dad's side of the family. Thinner woman. I get like a thinner build, but I don't think she was like super thin her whole life. When I get this thinner draining sensation going through my body, like I'm experiencing now, what this indicates, Denise, is that her passing was not a quick event. She had some type of condition, some type of illness. Could be a cancer. There's certain things like pneumonias, COVID, HIV, cancer that just drains you a step at a time. And ow, I'm getting this terrible pain in my right hip. Now, that could indicate she may have had an issue with her kidney because the kidneys sit right above the hip. But this feels almost like a fracture. I mean, this hurts. This feels like someone just came up and hit me in the hip with a hammer. Not a pleasant sensation. So she may have had hip issues or difficulty walking prior to passing, and I can't even feel my feet, which would indicate, once again, issues walking prior to passing, but also circulation. I do feel toward the end she may have been intubated, and the reason is I feel like somebody has stuck straws right up my nose. I can't stand that intubated sensation. So she was very, very ill prior to passing, and it seemed for a while that things were touch and go, but then her condition took a turn for the worse, and she had to let go. Does any of this make sense to you?
The person I'm thinking it might be, I'm not sure if it is, but she was my ex-sister-in-law, and she died from like liver failure from alcoholism.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's her.
What about your dad's mother? Dad's mother.
Okay, she died when she was 92, and
okay, keep going. Yeah.
Okay, she had like a little bit before she died. She had kind of like dementia right before she died. It wasn't for a long time though, but
no, that's okay. Was she able to walk very much prior to passing?
She was able to walk, but towards the end, she was in a nursing home, and so I didn't see her like when she actually, like the days before she passed, she lived in another state, but she did like progressively get worse.
Okay. I'm tending to think this might be her, and I know we have a fabulous, incredible producer named Emily, but I'm getting the name Emily, but it's not our Emily. Is there an Emma or an Emily or like an Amelia, some type of name like that connected either to her or someone close to her or to you, either in spirit or planet Earth?
Yes, my grandma's name's Lucia, but she has a granddaughter named Emily.
There you go. There you go. Well, see? So your grandmother has a granddaughter named Emily. So the granddaughter named Emily, is that your cousin?
Yes.
Well, there you go. Okay. So that's how she's identifying it. Let's see what words of wisdom she has for you. Now, she just gave me 3 pearls. Okay, pearls could mean a piece of jewelry of significance that you may recognize with pearls in it. And most of the ladies I know, and I say this all the time, but most of the ladies I know have something with diamonds or something with pearls. But pearls are also the birthstone for the month of June. So this could mean a significant birth, death, anniversary, or event connected to you, your grandma, or someone close to you, either on planet Earth or in spirit, within the month of June. It could also mean a female name that starts with the letter J, like a June, Jean, Jane, Janet, Jody, or a name like Pearl. Is there anything there that might make sense to you?
Yes. So my sister's name starts with a J, and she was born in June.
Oh, perfect. Is your sister here on planet Earth or in spirit?
She's here on planet Earth.
Okay. So, see, your grandmother's mentioning your cousin, now your sister. Let's see what she wants you to know. She said you push yourself way too hard to the point of exhaustion. I mean, when she's focusing on you, I feel like I'm like working, and I'm guzzling coffee to stay awake, but no matter what, I'm just physically exhausted. And I'm not telling you to take melatonin, but I'm seeing melatonin. Now, melatonin is the hormone that induces sleep. But I think what the message here is, you are not getting enough sleep at all. You are pushing yourself way too hard, and you've got to stop doing that. Look, it's hard if you're real driven and ambitious and lead a hectic lifetime. But be that as it may, you need to start getting more sleep. That's what she wants you to know.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to turn you over to Dr. Pat.
Hey, thank you for calling in. Could you tell me what the question was that was on your mind when you called in?
Yes. I don't know if we would be able to find the answer or not, but this is like the third time I've called in.
Yep.
And the first 2 times, there was a little boy spirit around 8 years old. And I'm not sure who it is, but I have a question. When I was 18, I'm 48 now, I lost a baby. I was like 4.5 months along. I didn't find out what it was, but I had a feeling it was a boy. So my question is, does Mark think that he would show up as an 8-year-old, or
No.
my
No.
dad had a... Oh, okay.
No.
That's what I didn't know.
No, because the thing is, he would show up. All right, this is how spirits work with me. I would see a star, and if it's a little boy that was either died in infancy or in utero, I'll see a blue star. If it's a girl, I see a pink star. Okay, so I'm not picking up on the star. But you said your dad had what? You were about to say something. I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. My dad had a younger brother. I never met him. He died when he was around that age, and he got hit by a car, and he died. And so that's the other person who I thought it would be.
Bingo.
And I never met him, though.
It does not matter if you never met him. You got to realize spirits are around you. He's connected to your dad. Your dad's connected to you. Just because you haven't met the person, that family member is around you. Okay.
Okay.
But that spirit did not come through this time.
Yeah.
Okay, we got your grandmother instead.
Yeah.
So here's my advice, and don't take this the wrong way. Stop obsessing on that spirit and instead focus on the messages that you're getting. Okay.
Yes.
I'll let Dr. Pat finish up on that.
Yeah, that's my point.
Okay, thank you.
And this is really what I want to say. Sometimes this happened to me last week, and it was very profound. I was seeking a very specific solution, and so I was so myopic about it that I couldn't see anything else. And then something happened which had me go in a different direction. And just that little shift in direction, I had 4 miracles show up in my life. And I'm not kidding. It was almost like when you're in the desert. This is what I've learned in the desert. I've spent a lot of time in the desert. When you're in the desert and you think you're going straight, if you veer off a step, a quarter of an inch, by the time you think you get to where you're going, you're miles away from it. And what I want to say to you is you just have to make an adjustment and let go of what you're trying to have show up, because the thing that really needs to show up doesn't have any room to come in. Okay?
Okay.
Good? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow.
And I just want to tell you too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just want to tell you too. I wish that you and Mark could run for president and vice president, because the world would be a much better place.
I think Pat would make a great president.
I think both of you guys running together would be perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
I would. Thank you so much. I would rather be CEO of Disney, because you'd make more money, have more fun, and the media would not be scrutinizing every single thing you did. But that is such a very kind thing to say.
Thank you. Just so you know, when I was a kid, I thought of being president. Just want to say that to you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you would be a great president.
Thank you. I'll come back my next life and I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my gosh. God, she must be psychic to pick up on that. No kidding. That was like a thing for me when I was younger. Emily, we have time.
Okay, let's go to the next caller. We have Albert from South Carolina.
Hi there. We're going to have to make it really quick, but we really want to hear from you. How can we help you tonight?
Thank you for taking my call, and happy Halloween. I lost my cousin about a year ago unexpectedly.
Was this a female, your cousin?
It was.
Okay, because as soon as you said my cousin, a female popped in, and she is like playing with her hair. Okay, did she have like really like awesome or like kind of wild hair?
One of the last times I saw her, it was a little bit more longer and colored, and it was wild.
Now she's
I guess you could say
she's handing you a bow and arrow and pointing to a target. Do you do anything with archery or target practice? But this may be symbolic. This could be like you're right on target, but she's showing you with a bow and an arrow and some type of target. So is there something with archery, something with target practice?
She's probably.
Go ahead.
Yeah, she's probably telling me that I'm on target because I do have I've got some archery stuff, but I haven't even messed with that, and I wasn't involved with her. But I will let that percolate, though. I won't totally dismiss it. But go ahead.
No, that's good. Number one, I don't know that you have archery equipment, so she could be referencing that in tandem with you're right on target. Okay. Yeah. The really cool thing is the two of you are cousins, but you're almost more like siblings. I just get there was a closeness between the two of you, and she said, I loved holding your hand. You know, I could just see the two of you like holding hands and laughing, talking. And what's with I'm tasting butter pecan ice cream. What is up with butter pecan ice cream? Do you love it? Do you hate it? But man, I'm tasting that.
Huh. It may have been something back when we were teenagers, possibly.
Remember,
I don't know. I'll let that.
Hold on.
I'll let that.
Hold on, Albert. The information that comes through is not always about the spirit, but I'm tasting butter pecan ice cream. Okay? And if it doesn't make sense right now, don't sweat it. It could pop up later on because, you know, when they give me these things, I don't fling out random ice cream flavors hoping to get a hit. And there may be something tomorrow you'll come across or whatever. But she's giving you that, and she wants you to know, she said, I'm just fine. I'm A-OK.
Yeah. I want to jump in. I've got a minute left. I want to talk to you about the archery. You have all the equipment, correct? But you don't use it. Why don't you use it?
Well, I've got a crossbow pistol. But
are you a hunter? Do you hunt?
Not anymore.
Okay, but you did hunt, correct?
Not kill things now.
Got you. I got you.
I did, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my brother-in-law was an archer, and he was amazing, and there was such a level of peace. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about taking it up. There was such a level of peace in that, and I wonder if you need to do something to really get you at a place of peace and focus on something other than whatever is going on in your mind. I'm just curious about that. You don't have to tell me, but it's something that I want you to think about. And archery, you don't have to kill anything. You know what I'm saying? You know, my folks are from where we live. Right. Yeah, my family's from there, South Carolina. But I'm just saying, you don't have to kill anything, and you can go to a range, right? But the performance of an archer and archery requires a meditative state. You see what I'm trying to say to you here?
Well, I definitely need to meditate more.
That's what I thought.
No doubt.
That's what I thought. Because even though you may not go out and take the bow and shoot, the process of that requires you to be at a place of peace. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes, it does.
You got to figure that out. You got to do something for yourself in that area, okay? That's really important.
All right, I will. And
okay.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
Thank you.
And also, Mark, I gave your book to a friend of mine, the Electromagnetic Soul. It's an awesome book.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Albert, and that's awesome. And if you can't sleep tomorrow night or you're up real late, and this goes for everybody, I'm going to be on Coast to Coast AM for a Day of the Dead special. And for all of our listeners, I'll be at the Unity of Tampa on Saturday, November 9th for an evening of spirit communication. And next week at the same time, the psychic and the doc will be back, and we will be taking your calls. And everyone have a happy and safe Halloween.
Yeah, and don't eat too much candy, okay, folks? We'll see you next time.
Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.